Hey guys, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel, and it is officially the start of the holiday season. At least in my mind, Thanksgiving Day is the kickoff for the holidays. And of course, another way that we like to kick off the holidays is with Black Friday sales. Oh yeah, I know I have been saving my money the last couple of weeks and been holding off on purchases because I'm like, I know some sales are coming up. And I'm here to tell you about one of them today from Good Molecules. Now, this is a brand that I've been exploring for the last couple of months, and I've been wanting to try their products for a long time because, they're really a brand that is about some of the same things I'm about and love. They're very ingredient driven and very science backed. They just want to get it done with the most proven ingredients. And I love a good juicy ingredients list, so I absolutely love that. And they're really affordable. Most of their products start around the $6 mark, and I just think that's fantastic because I love affordable and effective skincare, and I really feel like Good Molecules delivers. Now, I have partnered with them, so the video is sponsored, heads up. I partnered with them to talk about their Black Friday Festival 2020, which is amazing because on top of how affordable all their products are, they rarely run sales throughout the year. This is the time to get a deal and a steal on Good Molecules. And of course, they're going to be running all kinds of different promotions throughout the weekend. So the sale starts today and it runs through the end of Cyber Monday at midnight. So they've got all kinds of free gifts with purchase and special exclusive drops. So you don't want to miss any of it. I'm going to give you some more of the details inside of the video, and I'm going to tell you what are my top 5 recommendations that you pick up on this Good Molecules Black Friday sale. So if you guys are so ready to get the video started, you know the drill. Give it a big thumbs up and let's get started. So the sale is happening over at getgoodmolecules.com, and it's 25% off the entire site. Yes. And they're going to have some skincare bundles of products together for 30% off. And really the fun thing about this is they're going to have all kinds of different gifts with purchase throughout the entire weekend. The sale starts today, right now, and it goes through midnight on Monday. Now, the one that I'm the most excited about, and let me just tell you before I tell you what it is, if what I'm about to say is yeah, I want to get my hands on that, pause the video now. Get over to getgoodmolecules.com because I'm pretty sure this is going to sell out really fast. So they're going to be offering a really special deal. $15 skincare fridge. $15. Skincare fridges are usually $70, $60, $70, right? Pretty expensive, but super handy, especially if you love your pure vitamin C or ascorbic acid products that have to be kept in the refrigerator in order to keep them, effective for your skin and not oxidize. This is the product for you. Or if you just like to chill, your sheet masks or your eye patches or something, this is a great way to keep all of your skincare products chilled and, safe, but in a much more convenient spot than your kitchen. So speaking of eye patches, let's move into my top 5 recommendations for Good Molecules. The Caffeine Energizing Hydrogel Eye Patches. These retail around $18 for 30 pairs. And what I absolutely am over the moon about with this product is that it's fragrance free. Yes, it is so stinking hard to find fragrance-free eye patches. You guys know the struggle. I found one other one and that's it. So I am just so happy to have another fragrance-free option. No essential oils, no drying alcohols. So caffeine, that's really the star ingredient here. And this is actually a really promising ingredient for eye products because caffeine really helps to increase the blood flow and really stimulate the blood flow. And that's really great for your eye area because that can result in a brighter eye area and it can show some reduction for puffy eyes. So definitely a really interesting and beneficial one to put into an eye product. This also contains niacinamide. Now, everybody's eye area has different needs and will respond in different ways, but I can just speak from my personal experience. My eye area really responds well to niacinamide in eye products. It really helps to really rejuvenate and really brighten up that area that can get a little bit dull, a little dark, a little haggard, right, from lack of sleep. And I feel like many of us are suffering from lack of sleep in 2020, right? They've also included a peptide, which is acetyl terapeptide 5. Now this actually has some really promising studies on it that show some really good benefits for reducing puffy eye bags. And performance wise, you know what? I really enjoy these. These are really great, especially in the morning time. Like I mentioned, you know, I do need a little perking up on my eye area because I haven't been getting as much sleep as I really need to be getting. And these, I've been leaning on these so much to help keep my eyes looking really bright and refreshed and awake, and they have not disappointed me at all. They really hydrate my eye area nicely. They're not too sticky or too, you know, even like some eye patches can almost get a little like greasy on you. These are like the perfect amount of hydration and just a little bit of balancing moisture to them. They really plump up my eye area, really help fill out some of the little creases that I can get on my eyes. And there is a really nice little brightening effect that I've noticed with these too. And they're really good to prep your eyes before makeup because the serum itself is not too thick. It's not too sticky. So it's just, at least in my opinion, it's like just the right weight to prep your eye area and really plump it up before you put some makeup on. So this is really one of my favorite picks from Good Molecule. I absolutely love these. I've been using these like so many mornings to save my eyes, and they have not disappointed. Now, if you really love facial oils in your skincare routine, you got to check out Good Molecules because they have a really nice selection of super affordable oils. I mean, $10 sounds amazing for a facial oil, right? So one of my picks, my second pick from the Good Molecules sale, is their Ultra-Hydrating Facial Oil. So this is actually a blend of 2 different oils. It's camellia seed oil, which is actually a really moisturizing, really good for dry skin type of oil. It's high in oleic acid and it contains a high amount of vitamin E. Now they have combined that with hippofay-raminoids oil, or as we know it, sea buckthorn oil. Absolutely love this one. It's high in omega-7 fatty acids, like hello, barrier support, right? We love our fatty acids. And this also has a high concentration of antioxidants. It's got vitamin E, it's got beta carotene and lycopene. And this is the source of the color for this oil because it's this really rich orangey amber hue. Now this is the one I'm going to recommend for those of you with more dry skin, or you're like what I call a nourishment seeker. You just love that really extra moisturizing layer in your skincare routine. This is going to be for you because it is a more like medium weight type of oil and it's got a really nice rich moisturization to it. Now let's talk about the color for just a second because, you know, definitely you can be like, is that going to turn me into a Cheeto if I put that onto my face, right? Like, is my skin going to change colors? And no, it's not. You know, there is a high amount of beta carotene in here from the sea buckthorn oil, and that's where the color is coming from. But remember, you only need just a few drops of this, just a little bit. It's a very rich oil. You don't need a lot to get that high moisturization property, and I didn't experience any kind of like orangey Cheeto looking skin from it. So you should be good to go. Just the one thing I can tell you though about any type of product with sea buckthorn oil or sea buckthorn extract in it, if you have like a white robe or something, you just want to tuck that collar in until the oil absorbs, because that's the only thing that can turn into a Cheeto, is like it can rub off on like towels and robes and things like that. So just make sure that it's fully absorbed. Just a little tip for you guys. Or if you want to cut that down a little bit, mix it into your moisturizer. I mean, you really can't go wrong. It's super duper affordable, and even if you haven't tried a facial oil yet, but you've been kind of thinking maybe you want to, like, this is the way to do it. Another oil that I tried from them is their pure cold pressed rosehip oil. First things first, rosehip oil is high in linoleic acid. Now, this is a word that I've been saying wrong on my channel, like all kinds of crazy for many years, trying to learn the right way. Training my mouth. So this is different than the tea seed oil that we talked about that's high in oleic or oleic acid. And remember I said that that is really good for dry skin types because it's very moisturizing type of oil. Now, linoleic acid is actually an oil that's high in this, is actually really good for combination and oily skin types. Like, it'll be good for dry as well, but this is, you know, an oil that is going to be a lot lighter in feel and more quickly absorbed in the skin. And part of the reason why it is so good for those skin types and really beneficial for like acne prone skin that is really prone to congestion, clogged pores, or you just get a lot of dehydration on your skin, this is the type of oil that you want to look for, because it is very possible if you're just kind of always suffering with clogs, you know, always kind of suffering with congestion and acne, and just basically like oil and dead skin cells just always getting trapped inside of your pores, there is a chance that the oil on your skin is just a little too sticky. There's just too much keratin in it, and maybe it just needs a little bit of regulation. And that's where oils that are high in linoleic acid can really help you out. So this is one of them. There's quite a few different ones out there. Rosehip oil happens to be one of them. And that's just actually something that I look for in oils in general, because it does seem, for me personally, it does seem to help cut down on clogged pores for my skin. But there's so many other benefits. That's why I said, like, this is so juicy. Where do I start? So that's number one. It can actually benefit clogged pores and acne. Number two, it can actually help brighten up your skin. It's really helpful for evening out your complexion, working on hyperpigmentation. It can actually help improve scars. And it's actually a really fantastic anti-aging oil, because it can actually help with wrinkles and fine lines. And a really big reason why that is because rosehip oil contains a lot of natural trans-retinoic acid, which is basically retinol or tretinoin. Now, of course, I have to make the distinction that it's a very small percentage. This is not like the prescription creams that you put on your face. This is a very small amount of it, but that's where the benefits are coming from. So you're not going to get a ton of like exfoliation on your face or sensitivity or anything like that. You can use this with confidence, especially with sensitive skin, but that's actually where some of the benefits are coming from in this oil. So I found that so incredibly interesting. And it makes a lot of sense, because this oil actually did make my skin look a lot more bright and glowy. I mean, I'd like to think that I already have pretty bright and even skin tone, but there's always room for improvement. And I'm always kind of going through a cycle of like hyperpigmentation, which can make my skin look a little bit dull at times. And I feel like this oil just really helped brighten that up overall. And what was really interesting, I had a little bit of stress at the beginning of this month, as you saw in one of my little chatty makeup videos that I did. And I was getting some breakouts from that stress. And I started just rubbing the rosehip oil just directly on the popped pimples. And it actually made them heal up a lot faster. I was amazed at like the healing process was like super quick on those. And I was not expecting that, but I was so pleasantly pleased by how healing this oil was. So I've been packing this into mostly in my morning routines a lot. I've been finding their silicone-free priming moisturizer to be super duper handy. You know, this is actually a really nice kind of final moisturizer, I think, if you have a little bit more combination skin, because there is actually a nice amount of moisturization to this, but it's actually a very light and very breathable layer on the skin. I found the texture of this to be really pleasing overall. So in the ingredients, we're going to find shea butter and macadamia seed oil, which are actually some of my favorite kind of nourishing ingredients to find in a moisturizer. I said I find this really handy to have around because I've actually just been using it as a primer. You know, with all the mask wearing that we've been doing in public, I'm not really wearing foundation because, like, what's the point, right? I'm really not wearing foundation. I don't want to get it all over my mask, and I don't want to wear a layer of foundation with that like humid, like nasty environment around my mouth. You know, I just don't want to do it. There's no point. No one can see you anyways. So I've been relying really heavily on concealer, especially for, you know, kind of perking up underneath my eye, or if I have like a blemish or a dark mark somewhere on my forehead. I've just really been relying on my concealer. However, this is the oiliest area of my skin, and so I do need a little bit of a priming type of product just to make sure that that concealer stays in place and doesn't kind of like cake up or kind of split on me throughout the day when I am running around wearing a mask. So this type of primer is perfect because it just gives you that right kind of canvas for your makeup. Even if you want to put full foundation on top of it, it has a really nice kind of perfecting sort of a finish to it, because it does just kind of smooth down, right? Like it just like smooths out your skin, not in a silicone way though. There's not a siliconeiness to this, but it just kind of like smooths and plumps and fills your skin nicely. It's a very subtle effect on the skin, but that's really what I like with my makeup anyways. And I I really like a primer product that kind of feels like a skincare layer. I've been really into that lately, and this is kind of another one of those products that really fulfills that for me. So I've just been really liking it, and it does seem to make my makeup or my concealer and powder just last a lot longer on my skin. So it really, for me, what I wanted to do, which is just kind of create that nice canvas and some longevity for my makeup, it does that. It performs really nicely. So whether you want to use it as your final moisturizer, whether you want to use it over your moisturizer, I think that it's actually got a lot of flexible benefits to it. I wasn't sure what to think of this product when I picked it out. I was like, I'm curious, but I'm not sure if this is going to deliver, but I've actually been finding it very handy, and it's affordable. I mean, it is retailing for $14, and you get 50 ml for that price. So my fifth pick for the Good Molecules Black Friday Festival is the Daily Brightening Serum. Retails for $9. Now, what's super interesting about this, because when you hear the word brightening, you're kind of thinking, okay, there's a high percentage of niacinamide in here, right? No, they are not using niacinamide in this at all, which is really surprising and kind of a pleasant surprise because they're using Arbutin instead. And I've said this before, Arbutin is an extremely effective brightener for the skin. And in a lot of instances, it's actually going to work better for you than niacinamide can, because Arbutin is more effective on things like sun damage and melasma. It just works differently on the pigmentation than niacinamide does. And that's what sometimes makes it a better alternative choice to niacinamide. Now, they have combined the Arbutin with licorice root, and those of us K-beauty addicts know that licorice root 100% can brighten up your skin. It's a very effective brightener and very gentle on the skin. But what's particularly interesting about this combination is not just the fact that there's two brighteners in here, but it's the way that these brighteners work on your skin. Because licorice root actually works in a really similar way to niacinamide on the melanin in your skin. So this is kind of the way I like to think about it without getting too super like scientific, but like say this is your dark mark or your hyperpigmentation or just that area that you want to brighten up on your skin, right? Say it's this little hand thing here. I like to think about it like this. Arbutin kind of like is like strategizing and thinking about getting rid of that pigmentation like in one way. And so it kind of comes at it at this angle, right? And it's like get away pigmentation. What am I doing? Get away pigmentation. But then licorice root or ingredients like niacinamide, they also have a plan to work on that pigmentation. It's just a little different. Like they take a different strategy or like a different, they look at it from a different angle. And so maybe they come in this way and they go, get away pigmentation. The whole point of me doing all this like crazy hand gesture is just a way to kind of like demonstrate the fact that these are two ingredients that are working in two separate ways, making them doubly effective, right, for that pigmentation. It's nice to have two effective brighteners working at a different strategy to brighten up your skin. So the texture is a very gel-like texture, and it's actually got a nice amount of hydration into the skin, and it's got really good absorbency. There is some low molecular weight hyaluronic acid in this formulation. You can feel that in the hydration in here, but it's got really good absorbency and no stickiness or tackiness. Really no finish to this serum at the top of your skin. So just really nice and plumping and gel texture on the skin. And you know, I really think that this is going to be really good, like I said earlier, melasma, sun damage. This is the type of brightening ingredient you want to look for. Arbutin is far more effective than niacinamide on those types of pigmentation on the skin. And just maybe if you've tried niacinamide in the past and just really hasn't done the type of brightening that you've really expected it to. Maybe it just didn't work hard enough for your skin. Try Arbutin. I mean, this is definitely an underrated ingredient. It's not used as much, but it is highly effective and definitely worth a try. So all the information for the Good Molecules Black Friday Festival is in the info box below. So definitely check that out if you want to save 25% off your Good Molecules purchase. And if you guys do take advantage of the sale, let me know what you're gonna get. Let me know in the comment box below. I really need to stock up on those eye patches. I definitely need those for my morning routine. So if you guys enjoyed the video, but for some reason maybe you're not subscribed to my channel yet, please do consider subscribing. I release 2 new skincare focused videos every single week, and turn on notifications. And as I said, it's really the beginning of the holiday season, and I'm just so wishing, as I always do, but maybe even more so than ever, because the holidays are going to be very different this year, and it is going to, you know, maybe be hard for some of us. I just really hope that you guys stay safe first and foremost and healthy, but I also hope that we can find some pockets of happiness during the holiday season and be kind to ourselves and to others. I know that it's going to be different, but we can make the best of it, and I hope that we do. So I have a piece of pecan pie with my name on it, so that's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to eat some pie. I'm going to kick back and relax, and I hope you guys are able to do the same, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.